Now you may be wondering, Syntax, what did the gnome ever do to you? And you know, he never really did anything to me. Some men just want to watch the world burn. Hey everyone, this is Syntax, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to set in-game items on fire. Now I'm here in my Endless Inception format because I already have this set up and it's already a pretty good example of how to do it, so I figured why remake it if it's already there. Now for this example, I actually pick up a torch and then set it on fire with the torch, but you can use something as simple as searching a drawer and finding a match or finding a lighter or something along those lines, something to that nature. Now, I have my torch in an item spawner for the sole purpose that when you pick up an item from an item spawner, it can actually transmit onto a channel, and we're going to need something like that to be able to actually activate our fire in-game. As you can see from the settings of the item spawner, I have items respawn set to off, random spawn set to off, and visible during game set to off. These are both never and no cost for all this. Bonus ammo for weapons is turned off. Run over pickup is turned on. That doesn't really matter though. What's important is that this is triggering it's spawning when receiving from 61. You don't have to have it spawn when receiving from anything. I just have it when you walk in the room it spawns. But when you pick this up, it's actually transmitting on a channel, and in this case for me it is 62. Now the reason that it's transmitting onto a channel is because it's going to be enabling our button, which we are going to be using to actually burn whatever we want to burn. A tree, a house, in this case a gnome. Now, for the button settings, I have it on a 1 second delay just because dramatic effect. I have time screw trigger 1, reset delay none. Trigger sound is off, and it is also not enabled on game start. This is important because when we pick up our torch, it's transmitting on the channel that will in fact enable our button. Obviously, our interaction text is burned because we're burning. Visible in game, no. I have an interaction radius 0.5, but depending on how much you want to be able to the player to interact with the area, you can have this higher, you can have it lower, whatever you want. And as you can see, this is enabled when receiving from the same channel that we pick up our torch from. Now make sure it gets enabled, and then you can have your when interacted with transmit on a different channel, and that is what is going to be activating our fire particle effect. Now there are a couple fire particle effects you can actually have if you go to galleries and select props and head down to the meteor particle gallery and go ahead and select it. As you can see, we have a couple options. I believe this one is a fire particle that we can turn on and off, and this one is just a couple variants of fire you can have in your map. Now this particle, you can't actually see it, but as you can see, it says customized particle there down at the bottom. That is because I turned it off because I wanted it to be turned on when we press burn, our burn button. And the only thing important in terms of the channel setup on this is have it enable when receiving from that same channel, your burn button is on. So for me it's 64, so it's going to be enabled when I hit the button on channel 64. If you want to have it on 70, 80, doesn't matter, as long as they are corresponding. And if you set all that up correctly, it should look something like this. So as you can see, if I head up to my gnome and try and burn him by default without actually grabbing the torch, it's not going to allow me because I haven't enabled that button yet. But if we go pick up our torch, it's going to transmit onto that channel, which will then enable our button, which will then allow us to burn the gnome, and it will activate this particle effect, and the gnome will be on fire. Anyway guys, that is how you set in-game items on fire. If you were trying to figure out a way to do this and you didn't know how to do it, I hope this video helped you out, and yeah, this has been Syntax. Later.